Thank you for joining us live for the South Lake Chamber Hob Nob. We wish you were here in person. We've got a great attendance going on. But in the meantime, you can still chat with our candidates tonight through me. So our first candidate here on the hot seat, I'll let him introduce you and let him introduce himself and tell you what office he's running for. So go ahead. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Taylor Yarkowski, and I live in Montbird, and I am running for the State House District 25 seat.
Fantastic. Now tell me, why should I vote for you, Taylor?
Oh, that's a great question with a lot of ways I could answer that. I think the simplest reason is because I am a 100% America First conservative, Florida First attitude, as we coined in the campaign. I'm a father. I have 5 children, 4 girls and a boy. My wife and I, Courtney, live in Montbird, as I said. But, I think the biggest thing that I'm going to bring to the table is a couple things. Number one, my business acumen, my ability to get things done, put deals together, and move the ball forward. I'm a general contractor by trade, but I'm a GC in how I do everything. We get the right teams together, we listen, and we get it right, because that's what we do every day. And it's not about me, it's about the mission that we're on here, and I believe that God has put on my heart to do this, and that He's been posturing and molding me for a long time to now be able to carry out this divine purpose of serving my community. I also believe that one of the benefits of having Taylor is I'm never going to be beholden to anybody. I'm never going to be controlled by anybody. Only the voters of Lake County are going to give me my power to go fight the battles that we need to fight. First and foremost, protecting Lake County, but also a lot of things in Central Florida and throughout the state that we need to continue to push. And we're going to do that every single day, and that's my commitment. And I've also got the support of literally almost every leader in our delegation, all the most honorable law enforcement members. I mean, even our state attorney, who's never endorsed anyone, endorsed me. So that ought to say something about our integrity and our credibility. And our sheriff, Peyton Grinnell, has been a blessing to me and a dear friend. And the list goes on and on. So I think that, you're going to see some negative things about me, but at the end of the day, all I will tell you is all these honorable people are not endorsing a bad guy. I can promise you that. There's some bad people trying to hijack this county, and we're just not going to let it happen.
Are there specific issues that you're interested in tackling when you get to Tallahassee?
Yes. First and foremost, I believe the most fundamental function of government is public safety. I grew up in a firefighter family. I'm an officer with the state in private security, armed and otherwise. I'm a firearms instructor in every single platform of the NRA, and I train law enforcement. I do a lot of stuff in that world. So I'm very big in first responder and public safety. So we're going to be doing a lot of righteous work over there. I think there's a lot of work to be done in education, and that's a whole nother thing. But I really want to be focusing on some things there and giving parents more rights and choices, and protecting our children, and law enforcement wise making our schools safer. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is I believe that mental health and addiction is something that we need to put some real horsepower into. As an ex-drinker who put it down years ago, I know the value of these programs and of getting it right. The mental health and the addiction are the symptom of the deeper problems oftentimes, and my hope is that I can bring some clarity to that and some leadership and show people, hey, it's okay to have these issues. Let's go fix them and make it okay to do that. And I know there's a lot of solutions out there. We just need the right leadership and the right attention to something that maybe doesn't always get that. So that's something I'm going to be pushing for. And then, of course, we're going to get constitutional carry passed next year. That's my big hope and belief as well.
Great. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us tonight, and good luck with the campaign.
It's a pleasure to see you again, ma'am. God bless. Thank you.
And we're here with our next candidate. Now I'm going to ask you 3 questions. The first one's going to be, who are you, obviously. The second one's going to be what position you're running for, what office. And the third is, tell us why you should get my vote, or any of these folks that are here tonight, okay?
Tough questions. All right.
Well, the first 2 should be pretty easy.
My name is Banks Helfrich, and I'm running for State House District 25, which is basically Yalaha, South, Lake County, all the way down to the Four Corners. So that's the area. Why should you get my vote? I'm running as an NPA, Sherry, no party affiliate. And that means I'm neither a Republican nor a Democrat. I identify as no party myself. I want to bring civility back to the highest forms of government in this state. And I feel I cannot do it if I'm affiliated with a party. I don't want to be beholden to a partisanship or a blue or a red. I want to be beholden to the constituents, to the people. And I feel sometimes parties get in the way of that. So yeah, that's why I'm running. Did I get it?
You did. You answered those 3 questions, but I might have some more.
Oh, wonderful.
So, for example, when you get to Tallahassee, should you get enough votes, what issues are you most interested in tackling or working on, that kind of thing?
3 main issues. One is education. We are 65 out of 67 counties as far as getting the state funding. 70% of our dollars instead of 100%. Some counties get 120, 130%. I'm going to fight for those dollars to come back to Lake County, to South Lake County. Education. Another one is development and environment. We need a balance. We need a balance. Growth is all over the place. It's something that we cannot. We're going to grow no matter what. It's like this phone. It's going to be here. We have to manage it. We have to manage it in a balanced way. City of Groveland is doing this very stuff right now. They are a beacon of the state. And then the third one is mental and emotional health. And mental and emotional health in all aspects, from 2 and 3-year-olds, to make sure that we diagnose them before it's too late. Those in high school, we need to make sure we have the mental health liaisons in the high school, and that our kids are taken care of. And then throughout life, seniors who retire and decide to go on and retire, we need to make sure we have a safety net for them too. So mental, emotional health.
Good, thank you. Any final thoughts you want to share before we leave?
Wow. So in general, I feel the less laws, the more freedoms we have. And the difference between want and need, we may want a law, however, I feel the laws that we need are the ones that we create. So yeah, there's a difference between want. Oh yeah, I would like this law. I would, if we need it, yes.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sherry.
For being a part of the South Lake Chamber Hob Nob. We're excited you're here.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And we are back at the 2022 South Lake Chamber Hob Nob. I have a new candidate sitting in the hot seat, so I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you what position or office she's running for. So,
hi Sherry, I'm Michelle Barnard Pines. I'm running for City Council Seat 5. I'm the incumbent and have been in this position my first term.
Wonderful. Now tell us, if I lived in the city of Claremont, why would I vote for you?
Oh, many reasons. Well, you know, I'm a huge proponent of safety first for our citizens and for our first responders, and I support them wholeheartedly in all their endeavors, in their training, in everything they do so that they can keep everybody safe within our city. In that regard, I have been I'm so privileged and honored to be acknowledged by the Claremont and endorsed by the Claremont Police Officers Union, the Claremont Firefighters Local 4350, and the International Union of Police Associations. So they have acknowledged all the support and care and concern I've had for things in the city and outside the city. And that's one good reason.
Definitely. Can you give me something else?
Sure. I'm very involved with the city. I'm on the South Lake Chamber of Commerce. I'm the liaison to the board. I'm the ex officio on the Main Street board. And with that Main Street board, I'm also on the design board, history, and art. I feel like the history of Claremont is very important to know and understand. It helps us move forward in the direction we want to go in. I'm involved in Kiwanis. I just really enjoy all the things, supporting small business, supporting growth, we're going to have growth. So just making sure we do it the right way and getting on track for that. We've had a few hiccups, but we're moving in the right direction. And let's see, I could go on.
Well,
You might want to stop me.
That's fine, no worries. So any final thoughts before I let you go?
I just hope that people can recognize the work that I've done for the citizens of Claremont in my first term. And I hope that they have appreciated how I've handled things and how I look at things. And I would love a second term to be able to continue moving forward with things I have in mind and projects and the direction I feel that we should go for the future.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
So be with us in just a moment, and we'll introduce our next candidate. And we are back at the South Lake Chamber Hob Nob 2022. We've got an amazing group of attendees here tonight. Wish you were here. And we also have an amazing group of candidates who have decided to be here and meet with their constituents. With me on stage now, I will let her introduce herself. And who might you be?
My name is Liz Cornell.
And Liz, what office are you running for?
I'm running for the Florida House District 25.
Fantastic. And tell me, as a resident of District 25, why should I vote for you?
I would say, first and foremost, I am from Lake County, like true native. My dad was a pastor at First Baptist Claremont way back in the day. He was at First Baptist Leesburg for a number of years. He's now a chaplain at the Lake County Jail. My mom was a nurse in the area for about 35 years. And so when I say I'm truly born and raised here, I didn't come here. I didn't transplant when I was 1 year old. I remember when it was all, orange groves and cow pastures. As far as why you should vote for me, I guess to build on to that. Number one, I think Lake County, we're kind of in a position where we've got a lot of residential economic development, and that's important. But most important thing to me, I've got a financial planning company, and I would like to be able to bring some better jobs here. There's a big affordable housing crisis that people are talking about, and Lake County traditionally has always been more affordable, but as Orlando has moved out over the last several years, it is unfortunately starting to get more expensive. And a lot of folks talk about the market and, what do you do? And to me, it's a bigger issue, right? You've got to get some more economic development here in Lake County, attract some industries here so that people can afford the homes it is that they live in. I have a big insurance background too, so that would probably be my second priority, is trying to get these insurance premiums down for people. It is absolutely insane, but it's a really complex issue. And with my background, I think I could certainly go into it and at least in some way with all the inflation we've got going right now, help get the insurance rates down for starters, and hopefully if I get elected over my candidacy, but over my election or state rep, that I can actually get cheaper, more affordable, not affordable housing, but bring better jobs here. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous.
You're doing fine.
I have to redo this.
Worries.
You can't use that. I'm like, oh my God. I was holding my breath. That was terrible.
You're fine. No worries.
Oh my Lord.
So when you, if you have the luxury, not the luxury, I don't mean that, but I mean if you should get to Tallahassee,
Yep.
what issues are most important to you?
Yeah, well, I think the most important issue is really Lake County. I think that our representation, though I agree with a lot of policy, has not really done a lot for the community here, whether it be education, roads, even cleaning water. So even though you're up there voting on state issues, you're also gatekeeping, if you will, in some ways, getting appropriations here specifically down to the county. And so my number one priority is Lake County and doing everything I possibly can to get Lake County in the best possible position going forward. And we really are at a critical time. As I mentioned, we've got Orlando coming in one side, you've got the villages on the other. And again, residential development is a piece of economic development, but we're very quickly just turning into, nothing but homes. And everyone who lives here for the most part leaves and goes somewhere else. And I would really like to be able to attract an actual industry here that, keeps people, in Lake County. People move out here. Obviously, we've got, beautiful lakes to live on. We've got wonderful natural resources. I believe we've got the best community and the best county in the state. But my number one priority is Lake County in all facets.
Love that. So any final thoughts before I let you go?
No, we would sure appreciate your votes, and don't hold my nerves against me.
Definitely not. So thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you. I
you joining
appreciate
us,
it. It's
and
been
thank
a
you
real
for being
pleasure.
part of
Yeah,
the
thank
Hob
you
Nob
so
tonight.
much.
My pleasure. Welcome back to the South Lake Chamber Hob Nob. My name is Sherry Olson. I am on the Board of Trustees for the South Lake Chamber and chair of our Public Policy Committee. With me now is someone that you may have seen before, but I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you what office he's running for.
Well, I'm Congressman Daniel Webster from District 11. It's drawn a little different because of reapportionment. We added a new seat, so that's great. And running for re-election.
That's fantastic. Now, tell me, Congressman, why should I vote for you? Or why should anyone in this room or in the district that makes up your district vote for you this year?
Well, first of all, I think I represent the district. Our district is the oldest district in the country. 54 years old is the average age. We don't really know the term baby boomer because most of the people are older. Second is I know the issues. I'm on Social Security. I understand Medicare, and I also came through the state system, so I understand Medicaid and all the things that go with that. There is a lot of transportation needs in this state, and that's what I work on. I'm on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and I'm the ranking member on one of the subcommittees, and we are working towards doing the Republican plan the Republican way.
Fantastic. What issues do you see affecting here in Lake County, us in Lake County? What issues do you see in Washington that may be affecting us either now or in the future that you really think that you can make a difference?
Well, first of all, we have an inflation problem. And that's a overall general problem that covers the entire United States of America. And that's a huge thing, though. Everybody's having to pay more, but they're not necessarily making more. So I'm hoping we can work on that. From my committee standpoint, one of the things I work on, like I said, is transportation. A big bill that I worked on for several years is called the Infrastructure Bank. It's totally private money. There's no cost to the state or the federal government or the local communities. It's totally private. If it goes belly up, which I don't see that happening, but if it did, then the privates would eat the whole cost. It's a great idea. It's not the solution, but it is a solution that I think is going to make a big, big difference in our. I don't think you can build a bad road, especially in here, in Lake County, for sure. We need especially east-west connectors. Highway 50 is it. We're working on a couple of other things that might add to that. It's named Lake County. Lakes are in the way, unfortunately. So we have to go around them, but still, I think that's going to be a major, major issue. I'm also on the Natural Resources Committee, which deals with lands not owned by the state or local community. And we have many of those in the district I serve. We want to keep those pristine, and that's a big issue. I did win one award, which was the Defender of the Everglades Award from the Audubon Society, because I was able to get the Army Corps of Engineers, who governs a lot of that, to do what they said they wouldn't do.
Good. Any final thoughts before I let you leave?
Well, my thought is, look, I've been there a long time, and I think I know the system, I know the people, I know what it takes to get the job done, and I think I can do it. And I'm conservative, and I live a conservative life, and I've given back over $50,000 of my salary. I've given back money from my legislative account, which totals probably around $4 million. I believe in living life a frugal way, but also an effective way.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate your attendance. Good luck with your campaign.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much.
My pleasure. And I believe we have our next candidate in the hot seat. He's joined us while I was giving the sponsors for the evening. So I'm going to have 3 questions for you.
Sherry.
Hello, Sean. First of all, what is your name? Second question is going to be what office that you are running for. And third, why should you get my vote?
Okay, well, I think I can answer those. If I get these wrong, then
You're in trouble.
I'm in trouble. So, I am Sean Parks. I live in Claremont area, kind of off of Lake Shore near Lake Minnehaha. I live there with my wife Ivy and my 3 beautiful children. We are both Central Florida natives. I am your Lake County Commissioner. I've been your Lake County Commissioner, particularly representing South Lake here since 2010. I absolutely love what I do, and I don't have any other aspirations. I love service. I also have a small business, so I've got a foot in both worlds. And why I want people to vote for me, and hopefully I will earn their vote. Now, what I want people to know is that I put my experience to work. I put my heart and my passion to work, primarily because, quite honestly, I think about my kids. And a good measure of success, as I tell people, in what I'm doing and how I'm serving is, my kids are teenagers now, and if you ask them, hey, where are you going to come back here and live in Lake County? It used to be no, absolutely no. They want to go somewhere else, some other place, some other exotic place around the country. Now they're warming up a little bit. Maybe I should stay here in Lake County, and that is what I'm trying to tell people is the measure of me serving, and what I want people to know is that I'm thinking about the next generation. I want a great place for them, at least if they want to stay here or if they want to come here. I want to have the quality of life, which entails the trails, the natural environment of Lake County, everything that we know Lake County, particularly South Lake County, is great. And that's what my focus is on, is to protect that. We don't want to be some other outer ring suburb of Orlando. We want to be unique. We want to maintain that uniqueness, and that is my focus. It has been, and it will be my focus if I'm elected coming up this next 4 years.
So this past couple of years has been challenging, obviously, with the pandemic. What issues do you think will be kind of your focus as we move forward if you're back in with our county? What issues do you think will be those that the county commission really needs to take a look at?
Yeah, absolutely, great question. And right off the bat, it is growth management. I hear that on a daily basis. It is economic prosperity. It's roads. It's public safety. When you lose, let's take public safety for instance. When you lose that the image or the reputation of being a safe place, and South Lake County is. When you lose that, it's very hard to get back. So I'm very supportive of our public safety, the sheriff, police chief, all the police chiefs, the police departments. I know they work very well. We've got to, as a commission, me as a commissioner, have to support them. Let's take the growth management issue, which is at the forefront of everybody's. I'm hearing a lot of that out here today. It's the forefront of everybody's mind. And that's a struggle, and it takes relationships, it takes experience. The growth, a lot of the growth occurs within the cities, so the relationship with the cities, between the city and the county, about the right kind of growth, the proper growth that isn't going to make us like anywhere else in America, but again, that's something unique in Lake County. How do you do that? Well, you do that with design standards. You do that with a county-wide conservation strategy. Then there's roads, so you've got to be able to make sure that roads are obviously in place, but also that we are maintaining them on a regular basis. And we know that there's issues with potholes around there. I get pothole calls all the time, and I don't mind it, but we got to address those potholes, and that takes money. It's a bit of an issue right now with supply and labor as well. Economic prosperity, sort of quickly touching on that. Service industry jobs are great, but we want to particularly focus on some of those higher wage jobs, the healthcare that we know works very well, particularly in South Lake County. Those jobs are incredible. We need clean manufacturing, logistics, and we're focusing on that. So what we do is we don't create jobs, but we create an environment that's conducive to job growth and those kinds of jobs in Lake County. The entrepreneur, somebody that wants to work at home, he or she, the millennial, the Gen Zer, having the environment around them that will keep them here. And so they grow their business here. You never know where that next Elon Musk is going to be. And that next Elon Musk, maybe he or she comes from South Lake County.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your participation in our Hobnob this evening. And of course, we wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Sherry. Appreciate it. Appreciate
Right.
what you're doing. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. So joining us in the seat now, I'm going to have you tell me your name, although it's on your shirt, what office you were running for, and why, if I lived in the city of Claremont, why I should vote for you.
And good evening, and I thank you for this opportunity. And my name is Tim Murray. I'm currently mayor of the city of Claremont, this great city of Claremont. And yes, I'm up for re-election this year. Be on the ballot on November 8th, and the reason you should be voting for me is because of all the qualifications I carry with myself. Very well educated, possessing 3 associate's degrees, a bachelor's and a master's degree. 23 years of military trained me well to run this city. As you've been following me for the last year or so, I've been very successful, even though when I was elected, a couple of surprises caught me. Walking into the office, first, a big surprise was the fact that I didn't have a city manager. City manager walked out at my very first meeting, basically resigned at the first meeting. Then, of course, I was in the midst of a COVID pandemic and everything, but we still moving the city forward. Operated the city with for the first year without a city manager before we finally got one hired, and we could continue to do things and move. So all the training and I received while I was in the military in the Air Force for almost 23 years prepared me well to be able to step in and say, hey, we're going to just adapt and overcome. And that's what we did as we moved the city forward. So, yes, I'm looking for your support again on November 8th.
Good. Well, what kind of issues do you think, obviously the city went through, like you just said, many different issues over your first term, but what kind of issues do you think might be coming up in the next couple of years that the city council and you yourself will really need to delve into?
Well, one of the initiatives I have, or we have right now, that we really need to get out in front of is the project called Wellness Way. Wellness Way has been a project that's been a vision for years and everything, and now it's about to become a reality. So the city needs to get out in front of it, make sure we have infrastructure in place for it. We're going to need fire department, we're going to need police, we're going to need schools and all. So one of the things we've been doing in the last 5 months, we brought all the stakeholders together down in the Wellness Way and Olympus. We've been meeting with them once a month. All one big meeting once a month, and we, okay, what are your needs? What are your needs? Bring it all together so we can go back and address each one of the needs to make sure we have infrastructure. And the biggest thing is the connectivity down in the Wellness Way. And when I speak of connectivity, as you know, we have a big problem with traffic right, in the Claremont area. So when we talk connectivity, we're talking about extending Hancock Road down into the Wellness Way. We're talking about extending County Road 455. We're building another road, which is presently called Schofield Road. It'll become Wellness Way, okay? And it'll extend back over to the 429. And also we have another expressway, leg of the expressway coming out of 429 called the Lake Orange Connector. And it's going to be probably the most modern highway we have in the state, because if you're owner of an electric vehicle, as you traveling across that road, you'll be able to get your car charged as you travel. So we have all these things coming forward. So that's going to be one of the biggest things we have to make sure we get out in front of. I know there's talk going on in schools about the schools and everything that's needed, and look like we're about to have some land for a high school down there. So talk is ongoing. I don't want to say too much and blow what's going on, but yeah, we're in the process and it's almost come together. We've already been dedicated some land for a fire station, and so all these things, like I said, we have to get out in front of. So we're looking forward to it.
Good. Well, any final thoughts before I let you get out of the hot seat?
Final thought, I just enjoyed being a native of Claremont and everything. It's been a great ride. I've truly enjoyed being the mayor of Claremont for the last 2 years, even though the challenges I faced, some of the initiatives I started, which is basically is giving the city back to the residents and trying to be more open to the residents and have them to say, because it's all about them and not about me. So one of the things I started was the fact that lunch with the mayor first Monday of each month. I pick a different restaurant throughout the city and go and sit down and have lunch, and you're welcome to come down and sit and talk with me in an informal way. And so to leave your fear and not in an informal setting, you can ask questions, whatever, and I address all the issues you have. We had a citizen request we started where you can bring your wishes, your desires, and everything, write it up and get on the agenda and present your thoughts for 15 minutes and everything. So these kind of things to try to give it back to the city and everything and keep moving the city forward in a smart way. So
Great.
I thank you.
Oh, we thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of our Hob Nob. Our Hob Nob is only great when we have our candidates join us, so thank you so much, and good luck to you.
I thank you and appreciate it. Yeah.
Good evening again from the South Lake Hob Nob. I also wanted to thank our Supervisor of Elections Office, Alan Hayes. In addition to our attendees here tonight meeting our candidates, and you're going to meet one in just a moment, they also have the ability to make their choices on a straw poll ballot. So those will be announced later on in the evening, but we do thank our Supervisor of Elections Office for being out here and bringing actual ballots and voting machines that we can vote. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and meet our next candidate who is here this evening. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell us what office he is running for.
Thank you very much. I'm Dennis Baxley, and I'm running for re-election to the Florida Senate. As a state senator, I operate right now in a district that covers very much most of Lake County. After this new map goes into place that we're running on now, that map will give Lake County whole. I will be the senator for all of Lake County. That's going to really strengthen our position in Tallahassee, and I look forward to serving one more term for you.
Now, what issues do you foresee that will be coming up in this next cycle that will really be an issue for those of us in Lake County? And for one, I'm super excited that we have just one Senate seat for all of Lake County. That's very, I don't want to say cool, but it's very cool. But anyway.
It's a lot easier to understand.
Yeah, that's for sure. So what issues do you think will be coming up in the next year that you want to tackle?
Well, definitely, I think just doing a good job, doing less with more with less, has always been my objective. Jeanette and I have been married 50 years. We have 5 children and 8 grandchildren, and I think every day, what kind of America am I giving them? And I want to give them a more effective government. State government is close to the people. We have people moving here in droves because we don't have an income tax, and we've held firm on that and put it in the Constitution. And I want to keep this an environment where people can succeed. I protect some things: faith, family, freedom, opportunity, life. I grew up in an America where if you would just go work hard, you didn't need to be the brightest. You could learn if you were committed to problem solving. Anybody over time could open a door of opportunity in this society. I think it's still that way, and there's more and more people coming to this area for that new opportunity and that sense of liberty to do such. Probably one of the most important things I've done for you is kill bills, because we'll see about 3,000 bills in a session. I've been there 8 years now. I can be there 2 more years, and that will be the best time for serving you. But all those bills, many of them do something good, but then when you look at the unintended consequence that everyone is going to endure because we made that one move, it's, the spin is not worth the dime. So that's our job, is to look at that from your perspective and give you the least restriction and the most liberty you can. We're one of the few states that doesn't collect property tax at the state level. We don't collect income tax at the state level, which is all over the country. But instead, we think the money's better in your hand as much as we can leave it in the home community to solve those things. But we are growing because of that, and we help do projects that cities and counties and communities and school boards bring to us. We want to partner in those, but anytime we can keep that door open so that we have a future for our children and grandchildren, And your future in Florida is exploding right now.
So do you have any final thoughts before I let you get back and meet some of our attendees that's here tonight?
It's so important as you look and meet candidates, not only to hear what they might promise for you, but are they looking down the road? Are they problem solvers? And are they building a better future? Do they have a vision for that? And can they persuade other people? There's only 40 senators. If some of those folks don't go along with me, I cannot pass good legislation. So we have to work together. At the same time, we have to protect those things that are most dear. Faith, family, freedom, opportunity, and life. Those are worth fighting for. And thank you for letting me fight for you.
Well, we appreciate you being here this evening. Thank you so much for attending and participating in our Hob Nob. Hope we weren't too difficult with questions. But thank you so much, Senator Baxley. All right, our pleasure. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our next candidate that comes up. And once again, thank you for joining us tonight for the South Lake County Hob Nob 2022. Good evening again. I'm Sherry Olson with the South Lake Chamber, and I'm also chair of our Public Policy Committee, and I have our next candidate here next to me. I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you what office she's running for.
So my name is Laura Luber, and I'm running for United States Congress in Florida's 11th District. I'm an America First Republican candidate, and I'm primarying Congressman Daniel Webster.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about why if I live in your district, and I think I do, why I or some of these folks who are here this evening would vote for you.
Yeah, well, the 11th District here in Florida, it's a very special district. It's one of the most Republican districts in the entire country. You know, we have 435 seats in Congress, and 88 of those seats are majority red seats. You would expect, right, a majority red seat to have a strong Republican representative. And I decided to primary Congressman Daniel Webster because I think a lot of us saw in the aftermath of the stolen election of 2020 that we have a lot of weak leadership in our own Republican Party. And we saw that a lot of Republicans kind of just, you know, they certified the stolen election and they rolled over and they have allowed this communist takeover in our country to take place. We are losing our country, and I do believe that 2022 is our last chance to get it right. And I like to tell people that, you know, Dan Webster has been in office for 40 years. 10 of those years, of course, have been in Congress, but he's a career politician, and I don't believe in being an elected official as a career. I support term limits, and I think that we would be in a better position in this country if we had term limits. Dan has told people he's conservative, but a lot of people don't know that he's one of the only Republicans who skipped the vote on the second impeachment of Donald Trump, which was really disgraceful. He also skipped the vote on the January 6th commission, and now we have political prisoners. He recently skipped the vote when Democrats tried to federalize our elections by giving illegal aliens the right to vote. And he voted to send $40 billion of aid to Ukraine, your taxpayer money, in the middle of stagflation, inflation, and a recession and a destructive economy. And so we need real fighters. We need people who are not afraid to mince words. I'm a fighter. My background's in investigative journalism. I worked for Project Veritas and James O'Keefe for several years. I ran in 2020 where I was endorsed by President Trump, and he also voted for me. And my election was stolen with mail-in ballot fraud. And so I understand the threat that voter fraud poses to our country. I want an immigration moratorium in this country. I want mass deportations. We need to fight back against this invasion on our southern borders so that we can remain a free America. We need to enforce our borders. We need to enforce law and order. But that's not going to happen if you have go along, get along absentee members of Congress like Dan Webster, who is the 7th most absent member of the United States Congress. And so I really just, ask the audience, if you want to live in a free America, if you want a free country for your children and your grandchildren, I hope that you will realize that you can like a person. You may like your congressman on a personal level, but you can also understand that he's no longer fit to serve. We need real fighters in Washington, D.C. right now, people who have the strength and the stamina and the moral conviction to fight back against this communist takeover so that we can protect our conservative values and protect the United States Constitution. And I strongly believe that. And I hope that I can earn the voters' trust and their confidence in their vote on August 23rd in the Republican primary, because it would be my greatest honor to be their fighter in Washington, D.C.
So do you have any final thoughts or anything you'd like to add?
Well, I would say that if people want to learn more about my campaign, they can go to lauraloomerforcongress.com. We are actually the only deplatformed banned campaign in the nation. Because I speak the truth, big tech has banned my campaign on all social media. President Donald Trump is in support of my campaign. You can see he did vote for me and he endorsed me in 2020, and I hope to earn his endorsement again. But I would just ask the voters, right, if you want to know me, I give my cell phone number out to everybody. 561-635-2962. Text me, call me, ask me any question you want. Do not believe the lies and the smears that they use to try to discredit, strong America First conservatives like myself. Just be informed citizens. Get involved, because we are in the fight of our lives to take our country back, and I hope I can earn their vote. And thank you for this opportunity today.
Thank you for attending our South Lake Hob Nob. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All
I
right.
really appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Good evening. I'm here with our next candidate at the South Lake Chamber Hob Nob 2022. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell us what office he is running for. So take it away, sir.
My name is Tom Vale. I'm running for Florida State House, District 25, which is the south half of Lake County.
Fantastic. And I believe I am in that district. So if I'm just meeting you, and I am just now meeting you for the first time, tell me why I should vote for you over some of the other candidates who are running.
Well, there's 3 people running against me. And if you look at the palm cards, the campaign literature, the talking points, the policies are basically all the same. And in fact, you pretty much have to be a Republican in this district to get elected. So it's all basic Republican talking points. What makes me different? I've been out there doing things for the last 3 years, since 2020, actively, without any regard to running for office. And if I lose this, I'll keep doing the same things. Right now, I'm an officer in the Republican Party in Lake County. In 2020, my wife and I and our 2 kids, we did the Trump flag waving all around the county. 14 months, 2 or 3 times a week, all around the county. A lot of driving and a lot of gas spent. So for this election, I'm the only candidate that managed to get the required petitions to get on the ballot. The other 3 didn't, and one of them didn't even try. I'm the only one that's deeply involved in election integrity. I did this project October last year, 50,000 postcards printed to send to the state legislature to say, we need to audit the election. There's something wrong here. The 2020 election had a problem. Florida's been much better than other states, but there's some improvement that needs to happen. We need to see our governor reelected, and the margin of victory he had in the last election would be easily stolen with the fraud that we saw in 2020. So they've improved it a little bit here. We need to do more with that. At my table, I've got a bullet point resume that shows all the little different things that make me different from the other guys. Because it's not the policies, because they're saying pretty much the same policies. America First, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, things like that. Typical Republican talking points. But I'm the one that's actually been out there doing it without regard to a political career.
So if you do get elected and you are in Tallahassee, what issues would you have as your focus that you would be most interested in making a difference?
Well, as I just mentioned, the most important thing to me is the election integrity. If we lose the elections, we lose our country, and we're right on the verge of that right now. The 2020 election was stolen from the American people. We have an illegitimate regime in Washington right now. I firmly believe that. I 100% believe that. I'll commit my life to that. Nobody can talk me out of it. I've seen the evidence. We've got evidence here in Florida that I carry around with me everywhere to show people, to prove we got problems. It needs to be investigated. Our state is not taking care of this. They don't think it's a problem. So that's my number one concern. There's other things. We need to work on pro-life. We need to work on Second Amendment. Those are probably the 2 biggest things after that.
Good. Any final thoughts before I let you get back and meet with some of the attendees who are here tonight?
Just everybody should vote Vail.
Well, you heard it here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your participation at our Hob Nob.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome back to our South Lake Chamber Hob Nob 2022. We have had an amazing event so far. We have a great number of candidates who are here that are meeting our attendees. Our attendees are enjoying a fantastic dinner. They're meeting candidates and they're learning a lot about those that are up for election in our August primary and again in November. So, one of those candidates happens to be sitting right next to me, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Thank you, Sherry. My name is Tyler Brandyberg, and I'm running for Lake County School Board District 2.
Super. So, tell me, Tyler, why should I or any of these great people or anyone that may be voting in Lake County this election cycle to vote for you?
It's a great question. One I've got a little practice answering. But no, born and raised in Lake County, graduate of Lake County Public Schools. Graduated from Leesburg High School in 2013. Went off to attend the University of Florida where I earned my finance degree in 2017 and returned home after college. Lake County afforded me every opportunity to be successful growing up and really just want to make sure the next generation has that same opportunity. I was fortunate to be appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis in early June of this year to fill a vacant seat on the board. So I've gotten about an 8-week head start and put in a lot of work those last 8 weeks. I've got 9 schools in District 2, been to all 9, meeting with principals and staffs and teachers and really figuring out what's working and what's not and where we can be supportive moving forward. Leesburg is a special place. It's a special place to me and tends to need a little bit more support from time to time. So it's really having those boots on the ground, being involved, celebrating our successes, and continue to move forward. I think there's 5 things that are really important moving forward for Lake County Schools, and that is continue to recruit and retain highest quality teachers and staff that we can, school safety and security, career and technical education expansion, parental and community involvement, and lastly, fiscal responsibility and growth planning. Lake County's not getting any smaller. We got a lot of growth still coming our way, and it's going to be crucial that the school system can keep up with that growth and keep providing the same high-quality education opportunities for our students.
Great, thank you. You hit all of those really well.
Thank you so much.
Any final thoughts before I let you go to start talking to some of the folks that are coming up to your booth?
This Hob Nob has been an incredible event to meet more people in South Lake. As I said, Leesburg, Lady Lake, Fruitland Park, so don't spend too much time down in South Lake. But this being a county-wide seat, it's important to get out. And we got a big, big county that we got to get to all corners of. So events like this are really, really helpful, and we just appreciate you guys doing this. So thank you.
We appreciate you being here and your participation in our Hob Nob.
Thank you, Sherry. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Our pleasure. And we have a new candidate in our hot seat, so I'm going to let her introduce herself.
My name's Marie Aliberti, and I'm running for School Board District 5.
Great. So tell me, why should someone in this room or me vote for you? What is making you want to run for this office? And then why should we vote for you, and how do you earn our votes?
I taught in Lake County schools for over 30 years. I taught high school, I taught business and technology, and it was a rewarding career. As a public servant, I retired and then decided I still have a little bit more to give. I ran for a Eustis City Commission, and I got that seat, and I served there for 4 years. And it came at a time during COVID. I stepped back a little bit. I watched what was going on, and I said, you know, the school board, I can do that. I have a balance of educational background, business background. I've been a business owner, and I've also run for a public office before. I'm a public servant, true to heart, so that is why I wanted to run.
What type of issues do you see that may be coming up in the next few years that you hope that you can make a difference in if you are elected to be on the school board?
I believe we need to get to the point of more magnet schools and more community schools. I think that we're losing out. I understand with the shortages of classroom space that our charter schools have come in and filled those voids, but with so much building going on that we need to get back to an actual true community schools, which are smaller, which does necessitate building new facilities.
Good. Any final thoughts you want to give us before you leave?
I just want the people to know that I am a true public servant. I would give you 100% all of the time. It's not a part-time position to me, and I'm in it, and I'm here to serve the public.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for participating in our Hob Nob. Candidates like you make all the difference in making this a great event. So thank you so much. Our next candidate is here, and his name is?
My name is Michael Gonzalez, and I'm running for Claremont City Council seat number 1.
Great.
So a little bit about me. I'm a retired military. I did 29 years in the Coast Guard. I'm a father of 2. Been married 20 years. I have a young daughter of 11, a young man of 10. Today I spent my whole day running around, going to the schools, getting them enrolled. My little one is going to East Ridge Middle, so that's a big step for her. My little man's going to finish out 5th grade. I moved here in 2017. I've been here about 5 years. It's my first house that I bought in Claremont because of my military background. It's pretty much going to be my last house here. After I left the military, I was a high school teacher for 4 years. I had issues with my knee, so I had to give that up. Then I worked for the VA for 4 years. And now I'm a case manager for a Lifestream Behavioral Center right here in Claremont. So I work, live, breathe right here in Claremont.
Good. So you told us a great background about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Why should we vote for you? What are your platforms? What issues do you see in the city that you'd like to make a difference? Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, so the first ones that I always think about, the platforms, it's for me, it's balanced growth of the city, okay? Another one is public safety. Another one for us is experience and leadership, okay? And let's see here. Yes, I'm sorry. Those are the 3 ones, and I can elaborate on them.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. For the city, balanced growth. Reason why we came here, we love the city. We love the place. But what we got to have here is we got to catch up with our infrastructure. We got to catch up with the police, the fire. I ride with the city PD, so I know when we have our shortcomings. I know when we have our shortfalls here in the city. So for us, we just have to have that. The key is balance, make sure that everything is growing, because Claremont's a beautiful city. People come here. They want to be here. And I encourage that, okay? But we can't outlive or outwork the infrastructure that we currently have, okay? Police, fire, we just had our first in a long time shooting, okay? I was at downtown at the food truck festival, and there was not a police anywhere. It's because they all were responding. So it was a tough one, okay? And the other one is the leadership. For me, leadership, I currently work on the city's planning and zoning commission. I'm already a commissioner. So all this comes up, for housing, building, developing, we know it's coming. And we just have to make sure that we do it and do it correctly. Yes, ma'am.
Great. Any final thoughts that you might have before you get back to your booth and meet some more people?
No, I had a great time. It's a great event. It's my first one. I hope I'm on the November 8th ballot. I don't have a primary. Like I said, I'm already working for the city as a commissioner, and I will continue to do the same thing. For me, everything has to do with service. Service to the city, service to my country. So for me, that's a no-brainer.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for participating in our Hob Nob. It's candidates like you that make a huge difference with your participation in making this a great event for our attendees. So thank you very much. Good evening, I'm Sherry Olson with the South Lake Chamber of Commerce, and we are coming at you live from the Claremont Performing Arts Center, where we are having our 2022 Hob Nob. This is a great event. We've had an amazing attendance so far, and it's really a great opportunity for those who are voting in the upcoming elections to meet candidates. And if you haven't been able to come tonight to the event specifically, this is a great way right here with South Lake TV that you can meet the candidates who are here. And I happen to have a new one right here in the hot seat, so I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Randolph Waite, City Councilman of Groveland, Florida, running for District 5 for re-election. I'm currently Vice Mayor, and in the beautiful city of Groveland, the city with natural charm.
Great, yes, you guys rebranded. It's a great logo and new brand, and Groveland is really doing some amazing things. So tell us, Randolph, if I was a Groveland resident, why would I be voting for you?
Well, one of the main reasons why you should vote for me is that I'm a positive and progressive person. I'm a family-oriented person with Christian values. I love the community. I've been in the community for about 18 years. So I've seen the changes. I've seen some of the negative changes and some of the positive changes that we've recently had in the city of Groveland. And the biggest thing is I want to continue to help Groveland grow smartly and moving in a positive direction. There's been so many things that have negatively affected Groveland, and now we have so many things that positive, things that we could talk about that are going on in the city of Groveland. Obviously, we're not perfect, but we obviously serve a perfect God, and one of the goals is just to make sure that we continue to keep Groveland one of the safest cities in Central Florida.
So what types of issues do you think you'll see coming up in the next few years that, if reelected, that you can have a positive impact on, or that you really think needs some work, or will really be priorities for the city in the next few years?
Well, education. Education is one, and being a 16-year vet in education, being an educational leader, a teacher as well. I've seen some of the changes. I've seen the growth that has happened in the city of Groveland, and we need more schools. And right now, the outlook for schools in Groveland are very slim right now, and so we need someone on our dais that has that educational leadership mind, but as well as an entrepreneur mindset, because I've owned a business in the city of Groveland for 13 years, and so I have that mindset as well to obviously help our small businesses as well, and also keep our city safe. Continue to grow our public safety in a smart way, because as our city grows, obviously our public safety needs to grow smartly as well, and also building our commercial tax base to help bring some relief from our residents. And so those are some of the issues that we'll see. We have a lot of building that's going on that a lot of people see that they see going on, and sometimes they think that this building that's going on is from their current dais. And a lot of that has gotten approved maybe 6-7 years ago. And so now we're entering into some developmental agreements with some of these old PUDs. These are, those are your approvals from your previous councils. And so we're coming in and trying to fix some of those old PUDs, making sure that our roads are built wide enough for our public safety, making sure our houses are not built too closely. So we're taking a very intricate look at some of those PUDs and trying to get into some development agreements that make sense for our current residents.
Great. Any final thoughts you might have before I let you go?
Well, only final thought I have is, this is a beautiful event. I would advise everyone to get out and vote. Your vote does count. Make sure that you research who you vote for. And I'm talking about all races. Make sure that you research who you vote for. Make sure you research. And the biggest thing that I see with, any constituents is education. Just educate yourself on the community, educate yourself on the surroundings and what's happening in your community. Come to meetings when you can, and just get involved any way possible. So.
Great. Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate your participation, and good luck in the race.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And we'll be back in just a moment. Good evening. I'm going to introduce our next candidate, or let him introduce himself to you. Your name is?
My name is Tuan TQ Nguyen.
And you are running for what office?
I'm running for the U.S. Senate as a non-partisan candidate.
Okay. And then tell us a little bit about why the voters should vote for you in this upcoming election.
I'm sure that everyone is aware of the Washington gridlock. The simple fact of having an independent, non-partisan senator, that would help a lot for the Senate to pass more bills and for the best of the interest of the American people. And let me give you one example. Assuming one side, let's say Republican, have a great idea, and even the Democrat senator know that it is a good idea, but given the current polarization, the moment they cross over, they reach out to side with that person, they risk upsetting their base. But imagine if it's the same idea introduced by me from an independent senator. Both sides have an excuse to side with me to pass that bill. That for the common good of all American people. And for them too, they don't feel like I risk upsetting my base. I'm safe for the next election. That idea alone, having one independent senator, that help passing more bill and of course address the need of the American people.
What issues do you see that you would like to make an impact on? What issues do you see that are going on nationally that could affect Florida and or Lake County?
My answer might be a little bit more because I'm running for U.S. Senator, so that impacts the nation as a whole. I would like to address a few issues, but given the time, I want to address the immigration issue. I want to secure the border, but at the same time, I want to allow the undocumented immigrants a chance to work legally with a work permit. They will pay tax. They will pay for the penalty for having come here illegally, and those tax revenue will use it to finance, to secure the border, to pay for their children benefit that we are paying today, and also contribute to the Social Security Fund. So that benefit everyone, all Americans. The second thing I want to address is education. I want to invest. I don't want to say we spend. We invest in education by providing financial assistance to high school students. Either they enroll in community college or they choose vocational training. Either way, we're going to provide them with one criteria. They have to pass on their class successfully. That way, we're investing in those who are qualified for that. And that will give them a chance to earn higher income. And the moment they earn higher income, besides the fact that they take care of their family on their own, they will end up into a little bit higher bracket. So then their tax will be a little bit higher. That will reinvest into the system for the next generation.
Good, thank you. Any final thoughts or anything else you'd like to add before you get back to your table and meet some more folks here?
Dear Floridians, you've probably seen what will happen for the last few years. I mean, way too long. And I think if by electing me, you will have a chance to break the gridlock. I think that's important for us, for all of us, and of course Floridians. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here. Good luck in the election, and we will be back after a short break. And our next candidate is with us now, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. You are?
Jim Miller.
And Mr. Miller, what office are you running for?
School Board District 2.
School Board District 2. Now tell us why the good people of Lake County should vote for you for School Board District 2.
Well, as you can see on the sign, their future is our future. Our kids are the future of our country, and it's a passion of mine to help kids. Let me spell my name for you.
Okay.
M is for many perspectives. I have many perspectives of the school board. As a parent, I had two sons who graduated from Leesburg High School, both with scholarships. As a booster club president at Leesburg High School. As a school board member from 2010 to 2012. As a commercial realtor, I understand all the growth that's happening. And as a taxpayer, I paid taxes on all my properties through the years, school taxes. I is for interest. My main interest is helping kids succeed and become good citizens. The first L is for life experience. I'm 73. I'm going on 43. Feel like anyway, I'm doing very well with health. I have lots of energy, and I also have lots of experience. My website is electjimmiller.com. If you go there and read all that, you will vote for me. I've been president of this, chairman of that, Leadership of Lake County Hall of Fame, State Volunteer of the Year for Educational Foundations, all that kind of stuff. So if you read that, you'll know what kind of school board member you're getting. The other L is for lifelong learning. I'm still going to Chamber of Commerce, Florida Chamber of Commerce conferences. I just came back from the Learners to Earners Summit in Tampa, where they talked about getting kids, learners to what they should learn so they can get jobs. And the industry is very interested in getting trained help. Everybody's short right now, so we need more. And R is for research, or E is for energy. As I mentioned, I have lots of energy. R is for research. I've researched best practices when I was with World Class Lake County, which was a Florida Chamber-led movement back in the 90s. We brought in principals, teachers, superintendents from all over the country to teach best practices. I've studied best practices internationally, and so I bring a wealth of experience, wisdom, and the other thing I do, being a commercial realtor, I'm good at bringing people together, because if I don't bring them together, I don't get paid. Anyway, I'm Jim Miller. Their future is our future, and I'd like your vote August 23rd. Thank you.
Great. Any final thoughts or any issues that you think the school board will need to tackle that you could certainly help with?
Well, actually, I think the school board is doing very well right now. We've a diverse, very good school board. They hired a wonderful superintendent who's a leader. The first time I was on the board, we didn't have a leader. I was very frustrated in that 2 years. And I'm just anxious to join the team. They've done a very good job giving the hand they're dealt. One thing I'd like to see is less testing. I think studying the top 10 countries around the world, they don't do near as much testing as we do. And an old teacher said you can't fatten a hog by weighing it every day. And so when you're testing them, they're not learning. And there's no job in the world where you make money by passing a test. Alternative might be doing portfolios. With today's cloud storage, we could have a portfolio on every kid, and then you'd know what they can do. Kind of like my resume. If you read that, you'll know what I'm going to do. So anyway, vote for me. Oh, you got another question?
Nope, that was it.
Well, vote for me August 23rd. Thank you.
And we are joined by our next candidate. Your name is?
Ludy Lopez.
And what office are you running for?
I'm running for School Board District 2.
Very good. And tell us a little bit about why voters should vote for you.
Well, I believe voters should vote for me because I'm running to keep our schools safe and the liberty of our nation. I'm running to keep away the wokeness that is in the movement of wokeness that we're seeing lately into our school. Not necessarily in Lake County, we are blessed, but we want to prevent that to come into our school system. I'm the only person who stood up for parental rights last year in the middle of the pandemic. And also, I am the only person that is putting down from my salary 20% back into the students, and the only candidate without a conflict of interest, by the way. And I would like to bring to embrace American culture through a multicultural approach. I'm a senior pastor and a preschool teacher, I believe, and also 30 years of ministerial experience over the nations. I live in Japan, Washington State, Latin America, Canada. My experience is over 30 years as a minister, as an educator, as a pastor, also counselor. and also mentor pastor. I believe this the new generation is lacking, our nation is lacking the touch of a mentor, that father figure, that mother figure, and everywhere I go, people call me mother, because that's what I love to be. I love to mentor into the children's life. I will love to input, like I have done it so far. 2012, Puerto Rico, where I'm native, the government, the local government, honored me as a Woman of the Year for the work that I did in the community with the troubled children. So I believe what it makes me different, that I stand strongly plus family values. According to Florida Faith Value Both Guide, I'm the only one that undecided on topics about faith and family values. So that's what I want to bring into the education. Parental right. My campaign, by the way, is called Education with an Accent, because not only I have an accent, but accents means emphasis. And we're going to bring 10 accents into education, like parental right, multicultural approach, embracing American culture through a multicultural approach, audit the effort. We're going to expand into the opportunities. If you don't want to go to college, there's opportunities out there that you are trained for a workplace after graduating from high school. Also, resources for staff and faculty. We want to keep maintain the sanctity of our history. In the history, there's some things that were bad. We learn from those, but we embrace the good. So that's what I believe might make different from the other two candidates for school board.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your participation in the Hob Nob, and we wish you the best of luck with your campaign.
Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you. And we are back at the South Lake Chamber Hob Nob 2022, held here at the beautiful Claremont Performing Arts Center in Claremont. We've had amazing attendance. I think we started at 5 p.m. and it's what now, about 7:20 you said? So, and we still have a good house full of people. So those who are attending are really having a great time talking to the candidates who are running for a variety of offices. And you've met many of them tonight, and we're getting ready to introduce you to another. So please tell us who you are and what office you're running for.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Luke. I am the current chairman of the Lake County School Board, and I'm running for re-election for District 5, which is the Eustis-Umatilla area for representation, but it's a countywide vote. So,
great. Now, tell me why, since it is a countywide vote, why I should be voting for you.
I appreciate the question. So I actually started this my first term in 2014. That's the first time I was elected. And when we began the work of the district, we were about $450 million in debt. Since the time of my first campaign, we have decreased the debt to just under $300 million, which equates to $11 million annually. That's been significant, especially with the growth in the South Lake area. It's been able to adopt a pay-as-you-go funding mechanism, which is allowing us to build schools where we need them and not take on any additional debt and then have to pay that debt service fee. It's also attributed to a healthy fund balance. And so we call a fund balance, what we call a fund balance is like the extra money that we have. When I started in 2014, our fund balance was just at 3%, and now it's over 12%. And so super excited. This summer was the first time during my term on the board that we were able to tentatively agree with the teachers union and our staff on a contract that affords them a 5 to 6% increase in pay. And I know the board as a whole is just super excited to some of the other things that were agreed upon, such as coaches, incentivizing coaches. They haven't seen that in several years as well. So just the healthy fund balance and paying off some of the debt has been a big deal. And then the last thing I'd say, that's probably not the last thing, but one of the things I'm the most proud of is when I started in 2014, our graduation rate was just under 78% of our seniors graduating. It's over 90% now. So we've seen significant increases in the number of students, and I would attribute that to not only pathways to college, but we have over 70 pathways. Our our students for certification. And so we talk about the Aviation Academy that's brand new. We have them in Eastridge, we have them in Southlake, we have them in Eustis. Manned and unmanned. So we're looking at drones, we're looking at flight school, we're looking at mechanics. We also have the Construction Academy. It was started at Leesburg High School. Started about 3-4 years ago with just under 30 students. Now it's over 300, and we have it at Eustis High School. We have an HVAC program at Umatilla. I mean, I could highlight some amazing programs, but it's really afforded students the opportunities to either go to college or get a career right out the gate, which is really helpful to the community as well. So I'm asking for re-election because we want to keep the good work going forward. We have a lot of new challenges that we're being faced with since returning from COVID, such as students being absent, not re-engaging with school, some of the behaviors that we're seeing just because of the lack of socialization. So we're really looking forward to working closely with our teachers and how can we support teachers and students as they move through this kind of new way that education looks, but we know that school is so important for them, and so we really want to get them re-engaged, and that's probably a big piece of our work coming forward. Along with the building, I know that there's so much growth in our county, it never slows down, and so partnerships that we can continue to offer pathways and we continue to build schools and continue to have successful kids. So.
Wow, you covered a lot. That's okay. Anything else you'd like to add? Any other issues you want to talk about, or any final thoughts that you'd like the voters to know?
I would say that it has been, education is my passion. I graduated from Tavares High School, and I came back here to teach in this district. I've been a classroom teacher. I've been a district administrator. I currently teach at UCF. I love it. I love teaching. I also have 3 kids that are in Lake County School System. I have a huge vested interest in all of our students, and what I want for my kids, I want for your kids. And so I really have been humbled by the support, thankful for the opportunity, and I just look forward to being able to serve you guys.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your participation in the Hob Nob, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. And we are back with another candidate. I'm super excited to introduce you to.
My name's Todd Howard, and I'm running for Claremont City Council, Seat 1.
Fantastic. Now, Todd, why should the great citizens of Claremont vote for you?
You know, one of the most important things that we need representation on for the City Council is small business. And no one on there has ever signed the front of a paycheck, and I have. So as a 23-year small business owner, I think we need to have that voice on there. So that's the biggest part that we come into. But I've also been here for most of my life, 3rd-generation business owner right here in Claremont. So I understand the history of growing up in Claremont, and I love it, and we just want to protect its future.
Sure. What issues do you see that have either been posed to the City Council in the last couple of years, or that you see coming before Council in the next couple of years that you really feel are important and that you'd like to make a difference about?
I think your 3 biggest issues are going to be, 1, the tax rate. Keeping that tax rate affordable, not pushing folks out, is super important. Water and growth are going to be tied together. We're a huge recharge area. We're the head of the St. Johns River. So we've got to make sure that we have that clean water, not only for ourselves, but for the rest of Florida, which brings us back into growth. And growth is a difficult subject. We just have to do a smart management to make sure that the infrastructure, whether it be schools, roads, utilities, are all put into place up front, rather than when we get behind and it just makes a mess. It makes everybody unhappy.
Any final thoughts that you might have?
As I said, local business owner, I'm pretty much an open book. If anybody wants to find anything out, it's toddhoward.com, TOD1D, and you can find out about me. My cell phone's out there. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. But like I said, we just want to do what's best for Claremont, and to make sure that going forward, we've got a great platform to spring forward on.
Great. Well, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate your participation tonight.
Thank you so much. As I see you again.
Oh, you as well. And we'll be right back in just a few moments with one of our next candidates. And we continue with meeting the candidates at the Southlake Chamber 2022 Hob Nob. You've met a variety of different candidates this evening. We've got a couple more coming up for you, so don't go away. We're still in full force here at the Hob Nob, located at the Claremont Performing Arts Center. But with me now is...
My name is Matt Silbernagel. I'm running for Florida House District 25 as a Republican candidate.
Great. So tell us why, if I'm in your district, and I do believe I am, why I should be voting for you.
Absolutely. Well, I am running on a platform of Florida self-sufficiency, and quite simply that just means that I believe, as the Founding Fathers did, that the vast majority of governmental functions needs to occur at the state level. The 10th Amendment says that those powers not delegated to the federal government are reserved for the state and the people. And I think one of the biggest problems we have in our current political atmosphere is that we've seen too much responsibility, too much power go to the federal government, and I want to be part of bringing that back. I think a very practical ramification of that was seen in 2020. Even though Florida did relatively well during 2020 compared to the rest of the union, there's still room for improvement, whether that be in our food production, whether that be in our school performance, whether that be, and quite frankly, just keeping the economy up and running through removing some of the arbitrary powers just to shut things down. So that's my main overall goal. And then, of course, there's individual policies that play into that. So.
Sure. So what issues do you see that Florida has been dealing with the last few years, or that may be coming, that you'd really like to be in Tallahassee to make a difference with those?
Sure, absolutely. So I think first and foremost, with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, all the excuses around ending abortion in Florida are finally been removed. So I'm excited to be a part of that. Same with constitutional carry. I think for the first time really ever, we've had both the governor and a growing majority of the Republican legislature say that they're ready to pass a constitutional carry bill. So I'm excited to see that. But beyond that, I think one of the big pieces that I hear growing, and I've knocked on thousands of doors at this point, and one of the biggest questions people ask is, what are we going to do about our schools? For me, the answer is a statewide voucher system. That's essentially school choice. We need to start funding parents, not systems. As a homeschooler myself, my wife was a homeschooler, we're homeschooling our daughters. Parents are the ones who need to make the decision for what best fits their child's education needs.
Great. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with us before we let you go? I think they're getting ready to do the straw vote results. So anything you'd like to add before we let you go?
Sure, absolutely. I'm the only conservative with any experience fighting for constitutional rights in this race. By day, I'm an eminent domain attorney. I focus exclusively on representing property and business owners who stand to lose their rights to government condemnation. So day in, day out, I go into the courtroom and I fight for Floridians' constitutional rights. I am looking forward to doing that in Tallahassee when elected. So thank you so much.
Well, good luck with that. We wish you the best, and thank you so much for participating in our Hob Nob tonight.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Have a great
pleasure.
night.
You too. And I'd like to welcome you back to our Hob Nob. I think we are interviewing our last candidate for the evening. So we are super excited that you are here, and tell us your name.
Oh, my name is Carlos Lugo, and I'm running for Lake County Soil and Water Conservation District 1.
District 1 for Soil and Conservation.
Correct. But anybody in Lake County can vote for me.
Wonderful. That was going to be my next question. And tell me why I should vote for you then.
I am truly dedicated to enhancing the quality of life in Lake County. We've had a lot of building, a lot of extra in the last few years. Not a lot of concern when it comes to conservation, and that's my passion. So I need to spread the word to the community that we have to start conserving on our water.
Good. What issues specifically when it comes to water that you're most concerned about, that you think you can make a difference if you're on the Water Authority?
I'm going to try to make a difference in allowing us not to be able to enjoy our preserves, not have everybody, all these outside entities building on our preserves. The way they're doing it, not a lot left for the community to go out there and actually enjoy our natural resources, because the amount of outside money coming in and people just buying on our lands, and eventually that has to come to a stop.
Any final thoughts that you'd like to say to those watching, just so they will vote for you in the upcoming election?
I'm concerned for our future, I'm concerned for our children's future, and for future generations to come. If we don't preserve our soil and water now, we're not going to have a future.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here.
So welcome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sit right here for me. So this was our last candidate that we interviewed this evening. We appreciate your attention tonight. We've had a wonderful event. Once again, we'd really like to thank all of our sponsors, those who participated in sponsoring this event at the Claremont Performing Arts Center, as well as our trustees for the South Lake Chamber. I believe that we are getting ready to reveal the results of the straw poll that was taken tonight with our candidates. So stay tuned, and those results will be coming right up. Again, thank you for joining us for the South Lake Chamber 2022 Hob Nob. It's been my pleasure to host and be a part of this great event. Thank you so much.